Hello and welcome. My screen name is Covert Muffin, and this is going to be a submission video for Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition Randomizer, and in particular, the World Tour Clues type logic. Great. So if you've never seen Ori before, it's a 2D Metroidvania platformer. Basically, we're going to be going around trying to find some skills, and then those skills in particular are going to give us more movement options. Those movement options can be something like a lot of height, or some way to break blue things, etc., etc. But as we find those skills, that will actually unlock our capability to be able to visit different areas of the map. So right out of the gate, we actually start with no skills whatsoever. We're going to be collecting sign, which actually is not randomized, but pretty much every other pickup, like this one here, is randomized. And so normally that's just a little bit of experience, but it ended up being our first skill, which is known as Grenade. And Grenade is like one of the, thank goodness I found this pickup, because there are specific lanterns that you can light up with Grenade that actually open up like various one-off pickups. It's also very useful as a damage source, and in the vanilla game it usually costs half an energy, but in the randomizer in particular, we actually modified it so it did not cost energy. And this is in order to make a sort of movement-based option with Grenade open to us. However, we can't do that quite yet because we're still missing one of the other skills known as Bash. So here, Sign is one of the skill locations in the game. This is not mandatory, I get it, but it's like, you're gonna get Sign. It's just going to happen. This allows me to attack. And they're actually just teleported back to the very start of the run itself. And this is a randomizer command that was added in order to help give us a way of exiting out if we indeed soft-locked ourselves. And this is just because the save system can be somewhat unreliable or finicky in how you sort of backtrack to previous saves. And you can sort of think of it as a link to the past, how you can sort of quit out back to the main menu and then spawn in either Link's house, etc., etc. All right, so here's our first bit of progression, really, which is going to be Climb, as I do another Alt-R to teleport myself back to the start. And this is going to be sort of the first skill that's going to open up the next portion of the map, which is Climb, and that's going to open up Blackroot Burrows as a section to go to. So why would we come to Blackroot Burrows? Well, first, let's explain this trick. This is a save anywhere. Basically, I have my ability menu up, and then leveling up an ability will save the game. I wait for a very specific part of that cutscene to save the game, and after I cross that trigger and save, quit out to the main menu and reload, and that's going to allow me to skip that cutscene. This is going to be a very frequent trick that we're going to be using all over the place as we start to dig into Blackroot Burrows. So outside of finding skills and stuff from random pickups, this mode for logic is known as World Tour. And we have these different goal modes, if you will, in order to make the randomizer more interesting, right? So we explore more parts of the map instead of just trying to get access to the final dungeon, which is Horu, and start and finish the final escape, which spawns the very end cutscene, right? That's where we end time in a speedrun. So in order to make it more interesting, we added in a mode known as World Tour. What World Tour does is it takes all 11 of the locations and it puts one pickup in each of those locations as a unique relic. And so my goal here, as I'm in Blackroot, is to find the one item in here that is the relic, as well as each other location. Okay, so there's one in Blackroot, there's one in Glades, and one in every other one. And I don't know where this item is, it's just picked at random. And so in Blackroot, what I'm going to be doing is, because it's the only place I can really go right now with my climb, because I only have one keystone, so I can't get into Glades yet, is I'm going to be looking for this relic, as well as my next bit of progression, whether that's a keystone as a resource, which is the most likely thing to find, or if it's going to be a skill, or maybe even something like a teleporter to a different area on the map, which you can actually find in a pickup. Great. So here we have the orb, and the whole shtick with Blackroot is it's really dark and spooky until we turn the orb in at this sort of altar. Oh, fantastic. Okay, this is great. Finding Dash this early in a seed is incredible. Dash is one of the power trio skills that you can find in Rando. And the reason for that is it's going to allow me to move very, very fast and significantly decrease the time it takes me to collect additional pickups. Right, so the less time it takes me to find pickups and get to them and collect them, the less time it's going to take me to find my next skill or a bit of progression, and the less time it's going to take me to finish out the seed overall. So here I'm going to do another save anywhere glitch, which is going to allow me to enter and move around while this ability menu up, and then boom, right after a certain part of the cutscene plays, I'm going to save the game by leveling up an ability, which you normally cannot do. And then that's going to allow me to skip or enter a cutscene. And so in this one in particular, it's going to allow me to enter it. Okay, and so here's our first relic, Souls Diffused. And that is going to be one of the 11 relics I need to collect. And each one of them is pretty creative. There's like some cool text and stuff like that, and we would be laughing about it and explaining memes and stuff within the community. Cool. So I'm actually, still only on one keystone, so I don't actually have what I need to be able to get to my next area yet. However, I did find a teleporter, which is specifically to Grove. And right after I go to this waypoint, it's going to play a cutscene. And so this will probably be the first big time to like read off some donations. It's about like 30 seconds or so. So basically, one of the reasons why I wanted to submit World Tour on top of Forest Trees, which is, Forest Trees is kind of like the standard goal mode, which is you get to the skill locations and activate them. World Tour asks you to also find some unique item in areas that maybe don't have a skill location. So this includes like Mount Horu itself. There's no like skill tree in Mount Horu. But in World Tour, we place a relic there, as well as a place like Forlorn Ruins. So I'm going to be able to get access, or the seed itself is going to force me to get access to all these additional areas. And so it's going to show off more of the game. And so that's like one of the main reasons for having an additional like 15 minutes on the estimate as opposed to Forest Trees, because the objective is kind of ambiguous. It's just one random pickup in a certain area that I'm going to try and look for. And I don't know where that pickup is. However, as you'll see probably as we progress into the seed, is that as I go to more and more depth into the seed itself and get more and more skills, my clear time on pickups is going to increase drastically. And so with that, even though I have to check more pickups at the end of the day, which is going to take longer, it's going to show off a lot more advanced movement, as well as sequence breaks and glitches that you would never see in a normal speedrun, as well as very, very fast clear times at the very end of the run, which is a lot more interesting. Cool. All right. So here we just entered an area, small little area. It doesn't have its own relic. It's still part of Glades, but it's known as Spirit Caverns. Spirit Caverns is a nice area because right now all we have is like climb and dash and grenade. So we're missing a skill that's going to get us something known as verticality. And so we either need a skill known as bash, charge jump, or double jump, and then we can end up gaining a ton of height. Or I'm going to need to be able to spend these ability cells, like I just collected, to level up an ability known as charge dash. That's still a very far way away from being able to do. And if I do that, charge dash can actually build me a lot of height, but in very conditional areas. So I'm kind of locked to what pickups I can actually check, even though I have the flexibility to get to different areas of the map. So Glades and Spirit Caverns, as you saw me clear, is a really nice area because it doesn't actually expect me to have very much in terms of the skill department. But it has a really nice high density of pickups. So as I'm going through this seed, the primary way that I'm going to lower my average clear time on a seed, and why I'm very confident that I can finish under estimate in every single World Tour seed I do, within reason, is because of being able to bring my average time down with a fast clear rate. So there actually is a lot of strategy that goes into what I clear and when do I go to certain areas and check certain pickups. So here I turned in a map pedestal, which is going to get me something known as a progressive pickup. Because as I turn in map stones, it's going to give me a pickup based on the number of map stones I've turned into pedestals. So that one was the first mapstone I turned in, so it fulfilled mapstone 1. And so on and so forth as I turned them into the other 8 map pedestals around the map. Doesn't matter which order I turn them into, but just as long as they keep turning them in. Alright, so I still haven't found the Glades Relic, which is interesting. So there are a few pickups that are sort of gated by verticality, like that pickup there. I need to be able to jump really high in order to be able to get that pickup. And so I'm going to have to come back to Glades later on to find the relic. But here's a trick known as a hyperspeed, where I saved the game while I was dashing. And because of that, after taking a death, it's going to respawn me at that save, except with all the speed stored. And ooh, there's Sunstone. That's very, very, very nice. So Sunstone, Gumon Seal, and Water Vein are going to all be required for this seed, or finding the respective teleporters to the areas they unlock. And the reason is because each one of these areas is going to have a pickup. So hopefully I can find Water Vein and... Oh, okay, well, yeah, there's Water Vein. Whoops, okay, a bit of a death here. That's okay, it buys me a little bit more time to explain this. So basically those 3 dungeon keys, Sunstone, Water Vein, and Gumon Seal, are extremely important because the entrance to those areas, which are Mount Horu, Ginso Tree, and Forlorn Ruins, which we call the dungeons, are actually locked by a dungeon key. And so they're the only 3 areas on the map that you need some sort of, like, just neutral key device to be able to get access to them. So there, I just got insanely lucky, because without even unlocking sort of clues to help me find them, I ended up just finding them as random pickups as I was clearing the seed naturally. So that is incredibly, incredibly lucky. However, if I wasn't incredibly, incredibly lucky like that, then we also have a mode known as Clues. And Clues actually ends up helping us be able to track down those pickups later in the seed. So as I visit skill tree locations and activate them, every 3 skill locations I activate gives me a clue. And this is just a programmed feature in the randomizer itself. But oh, there's my second relic that I have now found. And Spear Light Efficiency, wow. Very nice cleanup of pickups. Spear Light Efficiency especially, it's going to double the experience that I'm going to get from pickups and enemies. So that is incredibly, incredibly useful. Oops. So here I'm just kind of torn on what I want to do. Here I'm going to use iframes. Whoops. Oh, almost. I'm going to use iframes. Yeah, there we go. From respawning from that save. However, if I activate dash while on the spikes, it'll end up just killing me and ignoring those iframes anyway. And that's all that was happening there. Great, okay, so moving on through Moon Grotto. I've already found the relic in Grotto, so there isn't actually anything that I need to do, like that I absolutely 100% need to do. However, I'm gonna like come in here, I'm gonna kill out this mini boss, which is going to get me access to a pickup, because I'm starting to run out of like pickups to actually check. And so as I'm progressing through here in particular, areas on the right side of the map without verticality kind of really gates me on what I can and cannot check. And because these pickups are still pretty quick to check in themselves, I'm going to be just going through and trying to clear these pickups. Because what am I looking for? I'm looking for verticality. I need double jump, charge jump, or bash. One of those 3. One of those 3, and then I can clear a lot more pickups. That being said, as I'm going through, I have an energy, which is actually kind of big that I just hit 4 energy there. Once you hit 4 energy, it opens up the ability to open up 4 energy doors themselves. There are just some doors that require you to stick 4 energy into them to open them up. All right, so here I'm actually going to farm for a bit of experience, I think. I think that's what I did here. Yeah, it is. I'm definitely doing that. Yep. Okay, and this is in order to unlock Charge Dash. Because as I mentioned, I don't have a form to build a lot of height. But now with Charge Dash, if I have an enemy like this Frankie over here, this frog monkey, I can actually Charge Dash and then cancel out the Charge Dash by jumping on the same frame or afterwards. Wow. In order to be able to get a lot of height. And there, I just ended up finding Wall Jump. So wall jump isn't a form of verticality, but it is a form of progression. It is going to allow me to check other pickups. And so now that I've wall jumped, you notice with climb that I could only hang onto the walls and crawl up and down them as I do another rocket jump to check that pickup there. With wall jump, I can now jump off of walls. So actually having both climb and wall jump is very, very, very nice. Great, okay, so I have 2 relics so far, which means I still need to find 9 other ones. And I still am looking for some form of standardized verticality, because as rocket jumps work really well to build a lot of height, I can only do them if I have an enemy around, and I have to position myself really, really particularly underneath certain enemies. Whoops. So here what I'm trying to do is just take a death intentionally. Yep, that was intentional. And that's going to set the waypoint up as a save point. There, it didn't save me any time to do it the way I did it, but that's okay. That's okay. Whoops. Nice little dodge there. All right, so here we're just getting some keystones. Keystones are nice because there's going to be a lot of doors that require me to use keystones to get through. Like a seed can take anywhere from something like around 16 keystones to like up to 30 something, I think. Somewhere around there. So finding this many keystones is really nice, but we do have a way of duplicating keystones that you might actually end up seeing me do later on. But for now, it's just nice to find them as pickups, because then I don't have to worry about getting locked out of the key door, because I don't have enough keystones. So here I'm going to, whoops, try a very particular trick. This requires me to get a ramp upwards out of this dash, because right now I only have a max health of 3, so these spikes are one-shotting me. I decided to give it a few tries. It's a really particular trick. And then use a rocket jump right here to check another pickup. Just experience, so it's not going to be a bit of progression. That's okay. That's okay. All right. So here we're going to activate this cutscene, and then I'm going to do another really particular trick. So charge dash is nice. Normally I can only dash once in the air, but with charge dash, if I just spend an energy to charge dash, it allows me to dash as many times as I want, as long as I have enough energy. So here I'm going to drop a save, cross a cutscene trigger, and then rekindle that save, which saves the game again. And that's going to be another way for me to be able to like skip a cutscene or enter a cutscene. Cool, okay, so still nothing yet. This is actually like pretty brutal. Right, we're already about like almost 20 minutes into the seed, and I haven't found my regular form of verticality yet. So fortunately, just because I have so much experience with the randomizer, this isn't a problem. I'm still actually navigating through the seed at a pretty decent pace. And that's just a testament to like how many thousands of hours I've put into Ori, as well as in particular over 2,000 hours I've put into playing the randomizer and practicing it as a speed game. Great, so I drop a save up there so I don't have to do a really difficult jump to get back up after checking that pickup. And then quitting and reloading just drops me right at that save. Alright, so there's the entrance to Ginso Tree. And we could open that. And we could actually go into Ginso Tree because I have dash. I'm just not going to, because there's an insanely difficult trick that I will use as a last ditch resort to check, to do Ginso Tree without a form of good verticality. And so right now it's going to be much quicker and much better for me to check other areas, because usually having a form of verticality is required to enter Ginso. And so the probability I'm going to find a nice piece of verticality is very, very slim while in Ginso. So here, these spores are just not behaving. I'm just trying to get them all above me so that I can do a rocket jump off of them to check a pickup. There we go. Okay, I got it that time. Cool. All right, so now we're going to be going into an area known as Hollow Grove, which is one of the most like horizontal and diverse areas in the game. It really ranges the types of skills you need to be able to full clear the area. There are things that require stomp to check. There are things that require 4 energy to check. There are things that require charge jump or double jump or bash grenade or like many different combinations of skills. And so being able to sort of sequence break those skill requirements is going to be the huge difference between the capability of finishing out a seed quickly on average and finishing out a seed a little bit slower. Because just as I mentioned earlier, we have to find each unique relic. And you bet your biscuits, Grove is going to have one of those relics as well. All right, so here's a cutscene. It's just a nice little 18-second cutscene, a little bit of a breather. I'm coming over here. I'm going to destroy this frog, turn in the map stone for my next map stone check. Going to be energy regeneration, which provides a slow regeneration to my energy meter. It's not really noticeable until you hit like energy regeneration 2 or 3. There's 3 of them on the map. That's a randomizer specific pickup. But here I just did a rocket jump to build a lot of height to get up over here instead of having climb charge jump, which is normally what the game expects you to have. Okay, so here's a really insanely precise sequence break where I'm going to be waiting for the spider to get in a really specific spot and then using a rocket jump to barely get enough height to get up there. So I am going to try this because if this is the relic or if this is like a skill, this will be a major time save for me overall. Okay. All right, so I'm going to crouch. Nice, and I got it. That's really insanely difficult. If I had stomped, that would have been a lot easier. All right, it was just it was just experience, but that's okay. It's still nice having the peace of mind to be able to know that that is nothing important. So like there, even though I took a death, it's not the end of the world. Here, I'm just going to kill this spider, save the game, and then come on underneath this spider. This spike pit here is instant death. Cool, there's another rocket jump to just build the height to be able to get up here. And you're really seeing, especially in this seed, how powerful having early dash is, right? It's giving me a lot of horizontal speed to be able to get around the map. And it's also giving me the option to build a ton of height in really specific areas. And so just because I have become very comfortable with going through and checking those areas using rocket jumps as a sequence break, I'm able to get through. And this logic in particular does not expect me actually to be sequence breaking, having verticality, right? Having double jump, charge jump, by just only having dash. That being said, though, this is still really good play because this allows me to continue to clear pickups. And who knows, maybe one form of verticality is also locking the rest of them. But so far, not really much found, just resources, right? Lots of health cells, lots of energy cells, lots of keystones. So once I find that next breakaway skill, this is going to allow me to start working through the seed at a really fast rate. All right. So at this point, I'm starting to be like, oh no, okay. Because I have kind of gone in a straight line, right? A linear path, right? I came up through Grotto. I went to the right side of the map, which was Swamp. And now I'm running out of chases. Running out of places to check. So now what I'm going to do is, because I have wall jump, because I have grenade, I'm going to start doing one-off pickups. Some of them are in logic, right? So the game expects me to be capable of getting access to the pickups. Or they can be pickups like this, right? I don't have clean water right now, so the poison water is still dealing damage to me. So they did not expect me to be able to check that pickup without taking a ton of damage, right? And so here I'm noticing I'm missing a waypoint, which basically means I didn't do a very specific section of Blackroot Burrows, which actually is in logic right now, which is going to be none other than the boulder escape. So here, because I just fell down because of a little bit of a mistake, just going to use a rocket jump to be able to get back up. So here I'm going to check out one-off pickup known as Dash Plant, because right over here is the Dash skill tree, where you normally get Dash when you play the standard Definitive Edition game. Here it is. Just an energy cell, no problem. Still plenty of pickups to check. So here I'm just waiting for my save to come off cooldown. Now I'm gonna do a nice little glitch. So there I dropped a save, opened the lever, which caused the door to open. However, normally when you let go of the lever, this causes this pillar door to lower. Oh my goodness, excellent. However, after quitting or dying, it allows me to be able to cause the door to infinitely open. And so there it is. There's my first big bit of verticality. And oh no, so I might need that Frankie alive. So I'm going to just accidentally take a death in order to be able to refresh that to make sure that Frankie stays alive. But now that we have double jump, this, I cannot express how significantly this is going to open the seed. Not nearly as much as if we had found bash or charge jump, which are kind of two extremely powerful and potent skills. But this gives me access and the capability to do Ginso Tree now. And Ginso Tree has a nice density to it. Oh my goodness, okay, well, there's charge jump, and now I have grenade jumps. So grenade jumps are going to be a glitch. They require to have climb, grenade, and charge jump, and they allow me to build a ton of speed by doing a 1/60th of a second timing press between two buttons. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to a wall, charge up that charge jump, throw one grenade, and then jump. If I successfully jump 1/60th of a second after activating that grenade, it causes me to move very fast like this. Then with that save anywhere glitch up, where I was able to move around with the ability menu up, normally you can't do that. I'm going to save the game after crossing that cutscene trigger. That's going to allow me to skip the cutscene. And that one in particular is one of the longer cutscenes for sure. Great. So here I don't need to come to this tree here. However, I still don't know where Gumon Seal is. And that Gumon Seal location is either going to be revealed to me through the clues mode, which we explained a little bit earlier on, or it's going to be revealed to me after I activate 9 of those skill locations. But here, now you can see sort of the benefits of having the verticality. I'm coming back to Glades because I still don't have the relic. And the Glades relic is one of 11 unique items, one of them per area, which I need to be able to start and finish the final escape. The game literally doesn't allow me to start the final escape until I've collected all 11 of these relics. And Glades is one area that is guaranteed to have one of these unique relics. Fantastic. But really, there's only like 4 pickups? 4, maybe 5 pickups that are left in Glades for me to check. Here's one of them. Nope. It was not there. Alright, so I'm going to come over to this one first, because this one's a little bit quicker to check. It was a health cell. Health cells are very, very nice, because right now I only have 5 health cells. And so that is going to open me up to being able to do some really, really important sequence breaks if I don't end up finding Bash, which is a skill that is probably the most powerful skill in the rando. But having grenade jumps like this is going to allow me to do sequence breaks like this. And there it is. There is the Glades relic indeed. The bracelet. And then here I'm just missing the press input for the grenade jump, and there I hit it. I can't stress how incredibly precise and difficult it is, each one of those grenade jumps. First, you have to get the angle on the charge jump correct, but also what you actually end up needing to do is be able to hit that 1/60th of a timing press. Then, if you fail the 1/60th of a timing press, oftentimes you have to do a bit of crisis management, because you may not be in the friendliest of places or circumstances, as you might imagine. Alright, so what's next on the docket? Well, we still don't have the relic for Swamp, and Swamp is kind of a mid-game area. And so Swamp is going to be a really good place for me to enter. And it is open in logic because I have climb and charge jump, as well as charge jump plus grenade. Oh, dude. Frogs are like one of the... They are interdimensional beings. the concepts of space and time and boundaries do not pertain to frogs, as we like to meme about. They'll just like fall through the floor like he did there and void out, or do some other silly stuff. All right, here's actually a pretty nice skill to find. This is Stomp. Stomp is actually going to be able to give me the capability to get to the left side of the map, which before now I actually did not have the ability to do. So with this, and because I have the capability of tanking 7 damage, and I'm going to be able to get Ultra Defense, I'm going to be able to get access to the left side of the map without Bash, which is actually extremely important. That was one of the things I needed to find. All right, so here, because I still haven't found the relic, I'm just going to be working my way through Swamp to check some additional pickups. First, I'm going to come over to this tree here, do a nice little whoops as I'm lagging. Makes it a little difficult to do some precise timing presses. Do a rocket jump to be able to get up there faster. The extra health cell is really nice for some additional safety. Ooh, and the polluted water canteen. So there is my next relic that I just tracked down. And so now I have found 4 of 11 relics, and we're about 31 minutes into the seed. So now that I found that relic in Swamp, I know for certain that there's no way I am going to be able to find another relic in Swamp. It is impossible. So the next area I'm going to go to is I'm actually going to teleport back to Swamp because the entrance to Ginso Tree is right up here. So this is sort of in positioning of the map. We're a bit above where we just alt art out, which is once again a randomizer specific function. Just allows me to teleport back to the start at no cost to me. You can think of it, if you're familiar with A Link to the Past randomizer, just basically quitting out to the main menu and then spawning at Link's house. But now in Ginso Tree, because I have these forms of verticality, it's going to make getting through these rooms a lot faster and a lot easier. In particular, this room. Because without the verticality, I would have had to do an incredibly precise trick. And oh, there it is! Alright, so we now have Bash. So I am in skill go mode, which basically means I no longer need any other skills in order to be able to get access to every single relic on the map. I know I can full clear the entire map now with the skills I have. The 2 skills I am missing right now are Glide and Charge Flame. Glide would be incredibly useful because one area, in particular known as Sorrow Pass, is extremely difficult without Glide. But once again, I just have like thousands of hours of experience with the speed game, so I am extremely confident in my ability to be able to sequence break the requirements for Glide, even though they are incredibly difficult and nerve-wracking. I actually kind of hope I don't find Glide this seed. As I do another grenade jump, I just barely missed that by 1 pixel in the angle. It's 1 pixel too low. Alright, so I still haven't found the relic in Ginso. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to continue to clear Ginso. What I did find was Ginso Teleporter. So there is going to be a key door up here if I don't find the relic beforehand. And that key door requires me to spend 4 keystones to be able to continue on in Ginso Tree. However, because I have the teleporter, I do not actually need to go through that key door, right? But also something that's really cool is now that I have like all these skills and all this energy and stuff, you're gonna start to see me go through areas much, much quicker. Right? And so Bash, in particular, is allowing me to latch onto those lanterns and throw myself on them. And each time I bash, it refreshes my double jump as well as my dash in the air. Not only that, but it's going to allow me to reposition enemies, because enemies will go in the opposite direction that I aim Bash. And then it throws Ori, or my player character, in the direction that the arrow is pointing. So, no, I don't use a Bash there. That's okay. So here I'm staying high in the air in order to just skip a trigger. Oh, okay, great. There is the Gamer Shell. Excuse me. So that is going to be the relic that is in Ginso. Yeah, and there's Bash. There is an instance of Bash. It's probably the most iconic thing that you'll see in Ori. It's a very iconic skill to the game. All right, so now that I've actually found each of the relics on the right side of the map except for Grove. We'll come back for the Grove relic later on. I am going to now be able to head to the left side of the map. And just to show you how insanely important this is what Stomp does. Stomp opens this one pillar. Without Stomp, I cannot open that pillar myself. I need to either use Bash in order to bring a Frankie over to stomp the peg for me, which is an incredibly precise and difficult trick, or I need to find a teleporter to the left side of the map. So here with Bash, if I didn't have Bash, I would have had to damage boost through all of those spike sections, which is incredibly difficult. But now using various bits of like speed tech and stuff, I'm going to be able to navigate through and check these pickups at a very fast and accelerated rate, as you can see. And this is one of the sort of things with the randomizer in particular, and especially why I'm confident finishing under each seed under an hour, is because the further and further I get into the seeds, the more power skills I have. So at the 3-minute mark, I had all of the power skills I would need to finish out the seed. And with that, that just allows me to get through very, very quickly. Cool. Alright, so here's a skill location. Actually, this is going to count towards the clue tracker. I'm doing this once again because I still don't know where Gumon Seal is, which is going to be the key that unlocks Forlorn Ruins, which is a place I have to visit because it has one of the 11 relics in which I need to collect to be able to end out the seed. So where am I going to go next? Well, I don't have Glide, so Sorrow is kind of a pain right now. So instead, I'm going to head to the left and go into Misty Woods. Misty is another area that's going to have a relic, right? Each of the 11 major areas. Misty is one of those. And Misty is really going to showcase off how great having all of these skills are. And ooh, there's Glide. Okay, so that is going to actually trivialize going through Sorrow. But here I'm doing a technique known as Stomp Canceling. Because normally Charge Dash, which is one of the fastest forms of movement, requires me to expend 1 energy per Charge Dash. However, if I bash on an enemy or stomp before the Charge Dash finishes, I'm actually able to mitigate that energy loss. It refunds the energy. Then what I can do is I can activate Double Jump before the stomp starts, and that's going to cancel out of the stomp, and then I can start another Charge Dash. And chaining these together in a very quick and fast manner allows me to move across the map at a very, very fast rate. So in particular, you're going to see this right after I break this ceiling here. Oh, whoop, yep, check this pickup first. Oh, and there's Sorrow Teleporter. That's nice. Right? Boom, boom. Right? So that was a stomp cancel that was done in a very quick succession. Okay, so we have the location for the Gumon Seal as it popped up there, which is in Mount Horu. So Gumon Seal, as well as a single relic, is going to be in the final dungeon. Oh boy. That is not ideal. Because Horu is very difficult to navigate through, and it's not normal you have to do that. But just sort of as I show off this advanced movement coming through the section, that's just like really nice to look at. I'm going to throw it over to donations in cases like this. Great. Whew. So there's just like continuing to read off donations. We're actually almost done with Misty Woods. There are 3 more pickups. Oh boy. Okay. 2 more. Okay. So they were just reading donations, but they threw it back to me. Thank you so much for those donations. That being said, upcoming here, we only have 2 more pickups in Misty Woods to check, which is a little bit spooky, because if it's not at this one pickup here, I actually have to kill the mini-boss and do this, oh no, this really slow section. Actually, this is good that I get to show this off. So normally this is a pickup that you don't actually have to worry about whatsoever. As I take out this mini-boss very fast. However, fortunately, I have enough keystones. So I'm going to save the game, and then level up an ability cell. This is going to allow me to get through this key door a little bit quicker. And now I have to carry this orb slowly all the way back to the pedestal. Then we are going to actually end up doing some blind movement at the very end of this. So this will take about maybe 20 seconds, I want to say. So you have time to read 2 donations. All right, this is actually really cool. I'm excited for this as they're reading donations. So this is something you never get to see. However, this one last pickup absolutely has to be the relic, which once again is the goal mode. I have to find that one unique pickup that was randomly placed in Misty Woods. All right, welcome back. So I'm going to do a save anywhere, and I'm actually only going to do one here. It's a little bit easier to time out. Then here, after it lights 3 torches, I'm going to enter this cutscene, and this is going to get me access to the pickup. However, I'm still in this cutscene, so I'm going to do a little bit of blind movement and focus. 5, 6, okay, jump. And then I'm going to listen. Yep, 1, 2, 3, yep, and save. And then that brings the camera back to me. Awesome, that was really good. So that was really particular blind movement to just bring me all the way back here. There's multiple places where I could have actually gotten stuck. But now we are going to head up to Sorrow Pass. Oh yeah, there's Wilhelm. So that'll probably be one of the donation incentives again, is to hear the Wilhelm scream. So here, these 2 pickups, even though they're in Valley, are actually considered a part of Sorrow, so I'm just going to check them really quick. And I don't actually have to do the sequence break here, but I'm going to show this off. Here, what I'm going to do is, I don't have Wind Restored, which is the start of the wind currents here. So instead, I'm just going to move a bird around that like high damage spike pit in order to be able to get access into Sorrow. And now that I'm in Sorrow, the wind actually is active here. Then using a rocket jump, I'm going to, whoops, okay, it sounded like that ended up failing. That's okay, I can just set back up there and try again. But here, doing a rocket jump, the green frog will actually end up sending his projectile up. And here, I'm just going to open this door right now by doing a trick known as a terror break. Here, I'm going to save the game and then die while I'm in the charge jump state, because this is going to save that damage and transfer that over through the save, and that's just going to open that up. And that'll save me a little bit of time, just in case I have to head up there a little bit later on. All right, but yeah, now we're going to be heading back through Sorrow, and I'm just going to be heading to the key door, just checking various pickups. And oh, whoops, okay, yeah. It's very easy to take a death in these areas, because if you run up against one of these spikes, as I just do the terror break again, going through these spikes causes you to get sort of knocked back, and it can cause you to hug onto them. So if you hug onto them, you can't actually use Feather. Which can be very, very tricky. There was just a force of habit. I started a save anywhere, even though I didn't need to. Alright. Well, we still haven't found the relic yet. And we've gone through, I want to say, about half of Sorrow. So I'm actually just going to probably go up here. Yeah. And check 3 pickups, and then I'm going to head down into the most pickup-dense locations. This is a little inoptimal, but that's okay. I just felt like going around and checking these pickups so I can show off a few more tricks. Cool. Alright, so coming through here, this is just the casual method to be able to do this. The game expects you to have climb when you get to that section. And so you can just climb, charge, jump your way out there. Fantastic. All right, great. So up here, this plant has a pickup, but also this area where we naturally get sunstone in the normal game is also going to have a pickup. So I'm just going to do a save anywhere and then save the game right after it starts, after it shows me the pickup. in order to be able to hold on to the pickup and skip this cutscene. And... Alright, just a Mega Health. That is not the relic. That is not special. That is not important. We got more stomp cancels there on the charge dash to be able to quickly move through that section without losing a single energy. And now I'm going to show off a really cool aspect of charge dash, which is the capability to dash through those lasers there. Yeah, I'm going to save here. So there I could just put the tumbleweed up to be able to save. I can't save in that room for some reason. It counts that as dangerous location. And nice, okay, I got there. That's actually a really precise trick to be able to not die instantaneously to that instant death laser. And going through here, we're just going to check more pickups. Nice warmth return. That pickup does absolutely nothing. And then we're going to continue on with the left side of Sorrow. And these are going to be the final pickups in Sorrow. So we actually got to pretty much full clear Sorrow, which is pretty cool. And this is something that's really awesome, is that the estimate does actually take into account me having to full clear multiple areas. So this includes areas like Sorrow and Misty, which I have actually had to full clear Misty, which is one of the longer ones. And up here, there are only 3-4 pickups left in Sorrow that are all very quick to check. Oops. Here's going to be the first one. Oh, okay, and that is the relic. So we do not need to continue on in Sorrow. Fantastic. But yeah, now we're at a 7 of 11 relics. And you might be looking at that and be like, whoa, you only have like 13 minutes left in the estimate, but you still need like about a third of the relics. Yeah, don't worry about it. Like this is the thing, is that having all of these skills, we're going to be able to concisely work through various areas at a very fast pace. And so now I still need the Valley relic, but I'm actually not going to look for that right now because the entrance to Forlorn Ruins, which is another location I have to go to, is still locked by Gumon Seal. I need Gumon Seal, or I need to find Forlorn Teleporter. And I know Gumon Seal is going to go ahead and be in none other than Horu, which is going to be this dungeon over here. Not only that, but I also need to find the relic in Horu itself. Great, so there is a relic in Grove. That one isn't actually too surprising to find that there, and that is just simply because we had already cleared out many pickups that were considered to be in Hollow Grove. Alright, so here it is in Horu. Immediately on entering Horu, you're going to notice something weird. And that is the lack of the immense amount of lava that should be spilling down and filling this pool right here. In the randomizer, in order to make it more interesting and add more variance to Horu, we actually modded out the lava. And this is pretty big because now, instead of only being able to check about 2 rooms worth of pickups, we can actually check every single room in Mount Horu. So there, first, I'm going to open up the exit towards the end of the final escape first, and then I'm going to check that pickup. It wasn't anything, so I just quit and reload. And then here I'm going to get the waypoint for a fast travel after I find the relic, the remaining relics. Great. Okay, so coming in here, this is going to be our first sort of room in Horu, and we number the rooms in sort of descending order for how you were supposed to do them casually. So this one in particular, because it's at the bottom and you're supposed to do this one as one of the final rooms, is going to be known as R4, because it is the 4th room on the right side of the map. Whoops, and I got a little troll there. I kind of want to hold on to that because that was extra air dash, but that's okay. We don't need that pickup. It's not required. Something else that was also added in is, because these were normally supposed to remove the lava flows themselves, instead, they are actually going to get me a pickup. And wow, there it is, the Horu relic. Very fortunate to find that this early, because this is only one of 8 of the rooms in Horu. So I'm actually still not done in Horu because I need to find Gumon Seal. And after acting the 9th skill location, it told me that Gumon seal is going to be in none other than Horu itself. So I'm going to just go ahead and continue on with Mount Horu in the hopes of finding Gumon seal very fast. But even if I have to full clear Mount Horu, it's not too bad. Like, this room here is actually going to be one of the longer rooms itself. Just because in order to be able to get the next pickup in the room, it's going to be, I have to just finish this room overall. So there's a plant over there to the right that I can't quite get to because there's an instant death lava field in the way. But after I activate this, I'm going to be able to check that pickup on top of getting the extra pickup from finishing out. But while I'm just doing this puzzle casually, this is an excellent time to read 2 donations. Oh man. The nice thing too is I've been like talking to for 50 minutes straight, so my voice is a little sore. I've also recorded another submission today, so I'm pretty tired. But so far this seed is actually going pretty well. Having all the power skills and having to full clear away is not a problem. And finding Gumon seal, like, we'll have the community vet a seed or 2. Oh, all right, there it is. Okay, thank you so much for those donations. And yeah, we found it. We found Gumon seal, which is going to be the last thing I really had to find to unlock the final area of the game, which is going to be none other than Forlorn Ruins. So what do I have left to do in this seed? Well, I have to get to Forlorn Ruins itself by traveling through Valley. However, I also need 2 more relics. One of them is going to be in Valley itself, so I'm going to be checking pickups like right there. Then grenade jumping over here for a little bit of fast movement. It's going to allow me to check more of these pickups in Valley. Oops, taking a little bit of damage. I tried to climb on there for another swag grenade jump, but that's okay. We didn't quite get it. Alright, here's another one. Yeah, that wasn't it. That's okay. There's still lots of pickups in Valley to check. There's a few really painful one-offs. Well, only one in particular now that I can check, but hopefully I don't need to. Oh no! Okay, so there was Horu TP. So that would have been nice to find. That would have been a little bit of a time save. However, it was a little bit out of my way, and we had Sunstone anyway, so it wasn't a problem. But yeah, here just moving this Baneling around is going to save me a little time. And there it is, the treasure map. That is going to be the Valley Relic. So all I need left before I can start and finish the final escape is going to be none other than the Forlorn Ruins Relic. So this seed is going to be over very, very quickly. Within probably the next 5 minutes. 8 minutes, like, tops. Like, if it's really gated in Forlorn, I don't think it takes me 8 minutes to full clear Forlorn. Definitely not. Definitely not. Alright, fantastic. So here we go. Okay, that was not it. I'm going to start save anywhere for safety. Now I'm going to bash off of 2 grenades here to build a lot of height and try and dash over a very, very tight gap to get past a cutscene. And so that was a really nice time save. That saves me about 5 seconds or so. Cool. And coming over here, just going to be checking pickups in Forlorn. Nothing quite crucial to yet. Another grenade there. These blocks are instant death. Nicely done. All right, there it is. 11 out of 11 relics have been found. I wonder how many pickups I actually checked this seed. I think we'll see once I enter the final escape or finish. But yeah, this was a pretty not nice seed. I'm not gonna lie. It took me about like 25 minutes or so to be able to find my first bit of verticality. And then beyond that, the relics and Gumon seal were not in good locations. So this is a really good sort of estimate for what a longer seed would look like. But yeah, so time's going to be coming up in about, I want to say, a minute and a half? About a minute and a half. It takes me about a minute from right when I gain control of Ori. Plus or minus like 10 seconds or so, depending on how well I do. So here's the final escape, one of the hardest portions of the game. But I am a professional speedrunner, don't worry. And so here, I'm going to set up for a really precise grenade jump, and my angle was a tiny bit too high. However, I've just done this so many times that I was ready to react in the situation where I made a big mistake. But here's going to be one final grenade jump, and this one does save about 35 seconds, but it also has a chance for soft locking. So here I'm going to get in a really precise spot and aim at the highest possible angle, hit the 1/60th of a second timing press, and nail the skip. Nice, first try. Fantastic. All right, time is going to be coming up in about 30 seconds now. Thank you so much for watching this submission. I think Ori Randomizer has a lot of potential, especially in this Games Done Quick Marathon in particular. With a release of Ori 2 that's going to be coming up during submission week itself, we are actually going to be capable of showing that off at the upcoming marathon, thanks to the early submission period for Ori 2. So we definitely, as a very large and very strong speedrunning community, plan on submitting that. And time, GG, 55:21. So even with a really, really bad seed in terms of how mean it was to me, I still was able to finish pretty much 5 minutes under estimate. So this is like a very, very nice comfort room, wiggle room, just in case I make a few other mistakes that lose me like a minute or two, for me to guarantee to finish under the 1 hour mark every single time. But yeah, that being said, I think World Tour in particular is really nice for Randomizer because it allows us to explore more of the map and check out every single location. Whereas Forest Trees is one that's sort of guaranteed to be faster every single time because the objective is in a clear and constant location. For this GDQ marathon itself, if Ori 2 gets accepted, I believe Randomizer is going to be an excellent fit for the marathon, especially sort of as an opening warm-up run for it. So if Ori 2 gets blocked by sort of like a bonus game slot or something like that, throw Randomizer up right before that, throw on a huge incentive, and let me sell it. And I would absolutely be capable of raising that, especially in a Randomizer setting, and especially with the entire Ori community behind me. That being said, thank you so much for watching this submission. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me directly. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.